Hello, you wonderful peeps. So for today's video, I'm going to talk about the teaser trailer that came out for Captain America Brave New World. If you haven't seen it already, I'll include a link to it in the description. But obviously, I really love, obviously it's capturing that Winter Soldier Civil War vibe, but that kind of like kind of grounded espionage, but obviously it feels like this is implementing even more that science fictional angle to it, because as the teaser ends with a Red Hulk, so we're also getting the leader, which I think that's the person. We see them from behind. You kind of look at their scalp and it looks a little greenish, but I'm thinking, because I was like, who's the main antagonist of this movie? And it's been a while, so I was like, wait, is it still Tim Blake Nelson returning as the leader? I think that's who that's supposed to be, because he's the one saying like, right, you don't realize you're being manipulated. So now this becomes this, I mean, with the espionage of it all, like who's manipulating Sam? Is it, okay, you think the US is doing one thing, but really there's more stuff behind the scenes? Or, and obviously it's continuing that theme from Falcon and the Winter Soldier of just like the changing landscape of the world, and how the world, especially with the US being the like centerfold of so much, and obviously the symbol that is Captain America, we saw how villainized that symbol was from certain perspectives, you know. And obviously Sam doesn't agree with Ross on how to approach a lot of things, especially because he wants to continue the whole element of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which was about making Captain America more of this militarized entity, rather than Steve like would help out, but he'd kind of do his own thing. He was kicking with the Avengers. He was never like a full-blown like military thing. I mean, not since like the 40s, since World War II, it's when he was kind of a military thing. So, but since then, like present day, he'd always kind of operated on his own. And I think Sam wants to kind of keep that separation. Yes, I think he's caught between the middle of being a military man, because he is one, versus like seeing what the symbol of Captain America is and everything post Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and what he grew and learned from that, as you know. And even, you know, even Ross telling him like, you're not Captain America, you're not Steve Rogers, and he's like, no, I'm not. Steve handled things his way. I'm not Steve. I'm going to be my own Captain America. I'm going to be me. I'm going to be Sam Wilson, you know. And maybe people are going to have a problem with that, like I'm not the Captain America. I mean obviously they attempted it with what is now, you know, U.S. agent, but you know, and I wonder if Valentina is going to pop up at all, because obviously this kind of is kind of set up to be this like 1-2 punch between Brave New World and Thunderbolt. So I wonder, is she going to pop up? Because I'd assume, because these movies kind of lead right into each other, right? Kind of, or at least it kind of appears to be, since that's on the more like espionage fronts on both sides. So it's like whatever's kind of set up in this bleeds over into Thunderbolts. It's gonna be dope to see more of Torres too, because we got a little bit of Torres in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but like he's going to be by Sam's side most of the time, and we see like the different outfits Sam has. He has the one that is it doesn't look the same. Obviously it's like a modified version of what he got at the end of his Captain America uniform at the end of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but he also gets kind of like this darker blue one that's kind of resilient, reminiscent of Steve's Winter Soldier outfit as well. So that's going to be an interesting thing to see like how that comes about. There's also like Giancarlo Esposito. I'm sure it's already out there knowing what character he's played. There's been speculation up until this point in time, but at this point in time there might be something confirmed. I haven't looked into it. I kind of don't want to know. It's interesting because obviously, you know, behind the scenes this movie has kind of had a major overhaul, and it was interesting because I was kind of under the impression he was like a last minute addition, but for them to kind of show him face forward in the teaser trailer is kind of interesting. And so it's going to be like, I guess he might not have the biggest role in the movie, but maybe going forward he's going to have this bigger major role. Obviously one of the so it's going to be interesting to see what role he plays in all of this, like who he is in correlation to all of this. Is he a mercenary or what? There's also two ladies we see repeatedly throughout the trailer. I'd assume like either they're CIA, but more likely Secret Service. I'm curious with the Red Hulk situation, whether or not, like, is that just like Ross just kind of like does that on his own, and him and Sam butt heads in that regard because Sam won't bend the knee, or is it just Ross does his thing and then he just happens, like Sam just happens to get caught in a crossfire? It might just be like Sam's protecting someone, because maybe the Giancarlo Esposito stuff also has to do with Isaiah Bradley, because that's something I meant to bring up before. We have him at like this meeting of like, right, what we can change in the world, and for whatever reason Isaiah takes a shot at Ross. So either that's not him, or what, like, why would he do that after everything? But maybe it has something to do with what made him into a super soldier all those years ago. Maybe some of that's coming back up. That's why I'm wondering, like, you know, it's a teaser trailer. It kind of gives us a feeling vibe, but we don't quite know what the story beats are going to be. So it's going to be interesting to see what role Isaiah plays in this, because it does seem like there are people against Sam that are like government agents as well. So maybe it's kind of a little similar to like Steve sticking up for Bucky during Civil War and how a lot of people turned against him. Maybe it's going to be similar there, where Sam is backing up Isaiah, and the fallout of that, who knows? Because it could have just been someone in disguise as him to set stuff in motion. It makes you wonder, will Zemo play any role? Because there's also the conversations of, will Zemo be in Thunderbolts? He hasn't really been announced, but maybe he's got a secret role. We're also dealing with, and once again, how much they're going to keep from Secret Invasion, considering the reception of Secret Invasion and just how much that show ended up changing, how much they'll implement from that. Because there obviously was a different president at the time, so it's like, how do we go from there to Ross being president? So a lot of Secret Invasion might be ignored, but there was like a very anti-alien sentiment that was set up at the end of that. Like, will we see any of that bleed over into this? Maybe, maybe not. Like I said, it's espionage grounded, but there's a lot of, like, there was already science fictional elements to Winter Soldier, sure, but like, I feel like we're in a different era of the MCU. So the MCU has progressed so much, and there's been so much science fictional elements like implemented in this world. So this is a time where the MCU is where it is post Endgame, post so many movies, versus Winter Soldier coming out during 2014. You know, these are just kind of the things that are kind of rummaging through my mind currently. I'd love to get to know your thoughts. What did you think of the teaser trailer? What are some things you want to see for the movie? What are some things you expect to see for the movie? Let me know in the comments. But really, that's all I want to talk about. So the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and good